Good website, that. Okay, here's the next edition of my little Gemini series. I've done a bit more to my cars over the last couple of months. Not a huge amount of stuff, because I'm actually between jobs at the moment. That's a fancy way of saying I'm unemployed. So, because money isn't coming in at the moment, I haven't done a hell of a lot of expensive stuff. But I've done some things that I'll just show for a while. I'll start off with this car. Different steering wheel, painted up, seat covers, Piazza bucket seat, which is quite comfortable. The car now has a tacho where the clock used to be, and some gauges. God, it's hot in here. Oil pressure, volt, and water temperature. Gear knob, 6x9 speakers, and new stereo. Philips, just a regular old Philips sort of CD player, nothing really fancy about it. New wheels, Chevy Centerlines, 13x6 with 205 tyres. And new exhaust system, Supercat Cannon muffler and hot dog welded in the centre. So yes, a few things done to this car, and I'm now driving it consistently. I'm enjoying it a lot because it's very fun to drive. So I actually took it on a Gemini cruise on Saturday that I organised in South Australia. It was good fun, went all the way across the city and back. But if you watch my video that I'll upload, or have uploaded by now, on my wheel collection, I will have touched on the fact that these Centerlines don't have good brake cooling. So they cooked my brakes coming back through just in the south of the Adelaide Hills. So what I need to do for a start is change these wheels over because they're not suitable for me at the moment. But I'm also going to do some brake ducting. And I found the perfect place to run some hoses. Right there. Just underneath the front bumper. It's got a direct path. Oh, excuse me. It's got a direct path to the back of the brakes. And I also need to upgrade my front brakes because their standard ones aren't really that good at all. Not vented, just solid rotors. So new rotors, new pads, and new shoes. And I also adjusted my rear brakes and my handbrake as well, because my rear brakes weren't working enough. Now, next bit, the white car, or Miss Midnight as I call her, now has a new interior, and I'll explain where I got this from in a minute. I think you'll enjoy the reason why I have a new interior in this car. Got my good dash in there, and yes, I'm not keeping this dash out in the sun. This is just so I can clean up my shed for the day. It's going straight back in under a cover. Because as we all know as Gemini owners, these early dashes, and late ones too, are woefully prone to cracking under extreme heat. So, considering that's a mint one, I don't really want to go destroying it. But these seats, they're actually very comfortable. They're retrimmed standard ones in obviously yellow and white. So combined with a midnight blue paint job that I'll be putting on this car, or having put on this car I should say, it should be quite a nice combination. So that's the next step after the engine's finished, and I'll go into that in a minute, is get the car painted and cleaned up. And what I was going to do, midnight blue on the outside, and the engine bay will be white. Because I like the contrast, and I've always liked white engine bays in otherwise different coloured cars. I think it's a nice combination. So yes, the engine, the 4ZC1. I sent that into the shop a while back, and I got a call from the guys. They told me that I actually will need new pistons, because one of them had a seize previously. I think it was number 2. So I do need new pistons, and they are going to cost me a bit, because the 4ZC1 Piazza turbo engine, even though it's a derivative of the shuttle engine, you can't get pistons for them aftermarket because they don't make them. They make shuttle ones, and those would be suitable, but they're not turbo designed, so they're not dished. So I said, what are my options, seeing as how I can't get them aftermarket? and they said they'd have to go brand new, custom forged. But the upside of that is it's only going to cost me $800 for a set, so that's what we're doing. So the engine build will cost about $2,000 for all the labour and parts. I'm actually going to get them to get me a camshaft as well, because I've learned that standard camshafts aren't that great. So it's going to cost me about $2,000 plus, but that's life. You know, that's what you deal with when you build cars, so I'm not really that fussed. So hopefully in the next month or two I'll have that back and start rebuilding it, and I'll do a dedicated video to building that engine, which I'm hoping people will enjoy. Anyway, moving on from that car entirely, I think. I've got 2 new globe wheels, which I bought for $50. I'm very happy with them. They've got some sort of half-decent tyres on them, but they'll be changed anyway. And I had 4, 1 was damaged, so now I've got a set of 6 and 5 that are usable. Now the coupe. Those rust repairs are coming along sort of okay. I haven't started welding yet, but I've cut away all the metal that I feel is necessary. Well, actually, I've got a little bit more to do around the spare wheel well and on the other side of the boot. This boot lid does need to be changed because there's quite a lot of rust coming through the bottom there. You can see it's quite nasty. Yes, I'll explain this. This whole side is, as I've learned, completely covered in bog. There has obviously been some huge damage, side impact or something like that that's happened, and someone's tried to knock it out and done a very bad job of it. So as you can see, there's all these ripples through here, and there's bog that goes right down to the bottom. So what I've been doing, a little bit at a time, you can see it's very dusty in here. I've been using a wire wheel to grind it all back. I should actually use an orbital sander, but I don't have one at the moment. Get rid of all the bog, find all the dents, and fix it up. And most people, considering all the rust and bog that's in this car, would give up by now and just move on to a different car. I'm not going to do that because I believe in sticking by a project, no matter how bad it gets. I've got all the pieces I need, and yes, there's a whole heap of stuff in the car right now, but I don't have any room. I don't like having stuff cluttered everywhere, so just for today, all the stuff's on the car as I move stuff around. I've got a better dash in the car now, and again with the white car's interior, I'll explain why I've got all this new stuff. Good carpet. Oh yes, I forgot to mention I put black carpet in that car, and the carpet that was in that car is now in here. So, bit of swapping around, but it's all good. Now, you might be wondering why. You might be wondering why I've got all this new stuff, and this is the reason why. I've got myself another car, another Gemini. I got rid of that red wreck that was at the front. You might have noticed. It's replaced with my sister's car actually. But this is my next Gemini. This is a 1980 TE sedan. That is. Oh god, what did I buy it for? $650, I think, from Salisbury, out in Adelaide's north. Same area I bought my white car from, but not the same person. Anyway, as you can see, it's very straight, it's very clean, it's got good paint on it, but the reason why it was so cheap is because of this. It's had some rear end damage. It's not actually that. I know this seems pretty unbelievable when I say this, but it actually isn't that bad. It's pretty fixable because these Geminis are so weak in the rear end. It's not too hard to pop the damage back out. And any metal that needs to be replaced in this area, I can use from the rack, which I've kept the rear end off of for my rust repairs on the coupe. Anyway, moving on.